Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Red-Headed Turk Lufenia. This is Reno LC's fight against the Castle Guardians. So I'm going to start with Wakka LD call, so you can tell I've had to reset a couple of times. Talk in a moment about how many times I've actually done this fight, but let's just get everything set up and out the way. So you may have noticed that these guys don't have an orb. If you've done the fight, you'll definitely know that, and they don't get an orb at any point in the fight. Which makes them quite unique as Lufenia fights, certainly at this stage in the Lufenia era. Now I've brought a team of Ashe, Queen, and Seifer here. Three characters I've actually loved using during these TCC challenges. I think they're right at that tier of, very, very powerful when you're trying to handicap yourself, when you're not using burst units and you're not using Tifa, the kind of units that are likely to be banned. Now, the goal with this team is that I don't let these guys get a turn except for when they really need to. And fortunately, the sort of cadence of how Seifer's delays and the breaks go mean that you can pretty comfortably do that with this team. These guys may not have an orb, but they do a lot of very nasty bravery plus HP attacks, which actually we've been seeing quite a lot of recently, I think. We had it with Queen and with even in Sabin's thing. Oh, I should say Gladio's LC. And Tidus's raids. Quite a lot of nasty attacks to deal with if you let them get turns. Just to add to the mix, these guys, when they get to 80%, 50, and 30, they get a special aura you're just about to see. They're based on the soul cages, reskins of those, so it's a bit like when the soul cages go on fire. Now what this does is it gives them a big reduction in HP damage taken. It means they can't be delayed, they got frame turns, as you can see. And it also means that you take poison damage as a sort of aura. You just take HP damage every turn until they get out of it. Fortunately, they get out of it as soon as they take a turn. But it makes their attacks a lot stronger. It gives them extra HP dumps, and a lot of their attacks already cleanse, so a lot of things aren't very reliable for dealing with them. You can't use, say, Seifer's EX debuff to prevent them from doing bravery damage, because they'll just cleanse it off. So, as you can see, I opted to go for Wakka Call, because if they're confused, they can't use the skill that would cleanse them, which is great. And the really nice thing is I actually got a cleanse, not a cleanse, I got an extra confuse on A there, which is fantastic. It means it takes a single EX from Ashe to keep the other one paralyzed, and I've already got the next one dealt with. So even in this very cleanse-heavy fight, I actually managed to keep all my debuffs up pretty much the whole time. It's really good. This is actually the third iteration of this team I've brought here. The first time I brought Warrior of Lightcall instead of Edward, which was stupid because I'm sure he'll be banned when it comes to the TCC challenge if we get one for this. And then the second time round, when I recorded it in portrait and the picture came out horrible. I thought, I've got to do it again now. But what I noticed was that I had 9 call instead of Kurosame, and it wasn't doing anything. I didn't need it because I was getting enough with those Ashe paralyzers, which is wonderful. So I swapped it out for Kurosame call for a couple of reasons. We're already doing stupid HP damage with this team. It's 50% with Queen's Order up, but Kurosame brings that up to 80 at full stacks, which is amazing. And that really helps with things like Seifer's splash damage, and in particular with what Queen can put out on her Devastate and her EX, and her non-Reset to Arousal moves as well. It means she's really doing quite nice damage. I think I'm about to make the worst mistake of the run, though, right here. I press this Ashe skill on B. It's going to get rid of the Paralyze, which is ungodly stupid. Yeah, I did not need to push this skill there. Lost my Paralyze, but it was alright. Ashe didn't die, so we got through that. The main problem there is it messes up with Kurosame's hero debuff, but I really wasn't relying on that at this point. There's only one more threshold to go, fortunately, so after that, it's just about delaying with Seifer and using that summon just to get some really big damage. And again, all this HP damage up means that characters like Queen and Ashe, who you're not necessarily going to rely on for personal damage all the time, they're hitting big numbers. You know, 135k. That's pretty good. Also owing a little something to the fact that they are all blued. I'm a real spendthrift with my gems, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. So here I'm just trying to make sure that I can definitely get another break. That's why I do the set defense down. I just want to get as many turns as possible. Was definitely doing some thought processes there about who to put the paralyze on. I think I was trying to work out whether I'll be able to get another paralyze off, but it's pretty moot because I've got Edward in reserve with his lullaby, which does fantastically for making sure that they don't get to do their actions. Really, really good call. Really happy with it. Queen's Order coming in really clutch as well to make sure that I'm getting some extra turns in there to just push them to that threshold and avoid them taking any turns they really don't need to be taking. And also, you know, these are both characters, you know, Queen and Seifer, who do really well off their EXs. They can do some mondo hits, and I'm really here for it. Unfortunately, I've got a few too many Queen turns at this point. I don't want to be taking all these turns while they're shrouded in their auras, unfortunately. But it's the way the cookie crumbles. At least Devastate exists, so I can make sure they're not going to take too many turns. And Ashe is right there, just before their turn, with a Edward call to bring and make sure they're asleep. I think right there, I was making sure that Seifer had his debuff up from his attack down debuff from No Mercy, because I didn't want to push off the what's it called? Push off the paralyze. But again, it was a really moot point. I really didn't need to labor it too much. And now at this point, I'm just trying to get myself set up into a spot whereby I can use the EX on both of them, freshly from an Ice Queen's Order, during that summon, just to raise those caps. And also because I don't want to be taking tons of turns on an Rosetsu Arousal with Queen during that summon. The turn count doesn't end up being too tight for this particular setup, but I think the first time I got this clear, when I was not particularly clear on how to optimize it, I ended up at 64 turns, which was very, very scary. I even had one very disastrous run where I got to 1% and lost on the HP, because there's one little trick they have up their sleeves, and that's that when you kill one of them, the enrage condition is actually going into that nasty mist aura, which isn't always an issue, but it is an issue when you're taking damage every turn that's going on, and they're taking reduced HP damage. So even though I had one left at 1%, I had a regular Queen turn, you know, no glasses buff, and an Ashe turn queued up, and they couldn't put the damage out. So that was a real pity. So what I'm very keen at this point to do is make sure one of them is paralyzed, so that either I can get my final turn with Seifer EX to kill both of them at once, or if I need to, let another one take another turn and get the kill with Queen LD. Fortunately, I don't get the Mist Aura up again. I think Seifer's ready to go, hence the bravery attack there, but there's no EX. Look, it's so nearly charged. Fortunately, Bloodfest still doesn't kill it, but Divine Judgment's there to seal the deal. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you during Yuna's event.